Today is a big day for AI because Meta just came out and produced 3 open source models available to the community. And they have taken the AI world as a storm. It's amazing what has been happening. And I will show you today what these models are about. And I will show you how you can access them for free. Literally, you can do hundreds of requests per day with these models for completely free. I'm not going to benchmark them in today's video, but if you're interested in that, let me know down below in the comments, and maybe in the next video in 10-20 hours, I will, try this model out and, give you my honest opinion. So this is a blog spot from Llama and Meta AI, and they release 3 models. Llama 4 Behemoth, which is still training, and it's a very big model with 2 trillion parameters, nearly 300 billion active parameters, and 16 experts. So they transition from dense transformers to mixture of experts because these are very much better in terms of overall performance and very cheaper to, serve to customers. So you get state-of-the-art performance while also having a smaller cost than having a dense model. The next one is the Llama 4 Maverick. So this is probably going to be the most used one. It has 17 billion active parameters, 128 experts. I think this is unforeseen for these kind of architectures, and 400 billion parameters. So it's a big model, but active parameters are so small, and there are so many experts, which is actually insane. It has 1 million context length. And there is also this Llama Scout, which is a smaller model with less experts and can go up to 10 million in context length and is optimized for inference. More on that later on, because there is a catch here and I want to state it to you so you don't get actually misled by this. But again, this is a big step for open source models. And yeah, let's go ahead and see. So previously, this is how a dense model looks like. This is how an expert model looks like. So this is a small transformer model. Each expert is a small transformer model, and there's a router that according to the task or according to the token, it's pointing to an expert. So some experts are good for like coding, some other experts are good for writing, and etc. etc. So this is a big deal. This is a very big deal. And I want to go over to the benchmarks, and we will show also third-party benchmarks so we can see how good this model is. And let me tell you, the community is really split on this. A lot of people that have tested it out, they say it's very bad. Other people say it's very good. We're going to get an overall picture. And as I've said, in the next video, I could possibly benchmark it. Just let me know in the comments. So here is the benchmarks. So again, this is the small model or the medium-sized model, which is the Maverick. Again, 17 billion active parameters, 400 billion, total parameters. The estimated cost is very low. It's around DeepSeek 3.1 and Gemini Flash. So this is a big step in terms of optimizing costs for open source. This is great. This is an alternative to China and is also as low as possibly what Google points out for their models. The performance is also on the multimodal side, which DeepSeek doesn't offer. And it has a very good performance, I gotta say, in this case. And for coding, it's not like the best model. It's okay. There's also the MMLU Pro, the GPQA Diamond. It's doing a very good job, and this is the long context benchmarks, where it beats Gemini 2.0 Flash. And I think that's nice, that looks nice. Here are the needle in a haystack. I really don't know how to read this, but it seems good in terms of how big contexts it can handle. And yeah, this is how the negative log likelihood score goes, so that's interesting as well. This is the small model, which is compared against the previous iterations of Llama, which was dense models. This came out like 7-8 months ago. They're pretty old. Llama 3, so this compares Llama 4 Scout to models that are pretty similar in size. Mistral 3.1, these very small, very cheap models, and it's doing supposedly very good job. Now, I don't know how much we can trust these benchmarks, but it looks very good. It looks like a small, very good model that can handle very big contexts. And about the 2 trillion size model, it looks also very well. It compares to the state-of-the-art, which is Sonnet 3.7, Gemini, I would like 2.5 here, coming soon. hopefully, because 2.5 was a big leap in performance and GPT 4.5. So I see no reasoning models here, maybe because they have not released the actual reasoning models in this case. So this is a very big model, but the active parameters make the cost a lot cheaper because it's 300 billion active parameters, which is probably comparable to these releases. And it shows state-of-the-art performance in all of these benchmarks. And what they say is that it's currently the best internal runs and it's not finished. So this model is still training and supposedly it will continue to improve even more. The scores look good over here, but it's not very much benchmarked. So in all honesty, it seems like this is a very good release from Meta AI and Llama. Hopefully they will be able to improve these models even more, and the community I think will push them to their limits because they are open source. But as a very first step, as first benchmarks, they look good. So let's go to the original release. I want to show you a little bit how it compares on LM Arena ILO versus cost and other models. So this Maverick model is very cheap, it's experimental right now, but it's very, very cheap compared to the competition and has a very high score. So that shows that as AI progresses, it becomes cheaper, but also better. So this is very exciting to see and very hopeful that the future of AI is not going to be constrained to only people with money. Hopefully this trend continues and we go to the upper left corner and more models start to populate this box and area. High ELO but low cost. So this is very good. This is very hopeful and I really hope that this trend really continues. And this was actually enabled because it has only 17 billion active parameters and not a lot of total parameters. So it can run on like 5 to 10 GPUs and actively you will need only one of these to pass through. So this is good. This is hopeful, and also the architecture of having so many experts is something that I have not seen in previous models. So this is exciting. And their biggest model, again, still is in training. Now let's move on into independent evaluations, because this is important. Seeing independent evaluations is super important, and this is the Artificial Intelligence Index for non-reasoning models. And we see it that it's the third best model, the Maverick one, and the small Scout one is also very, very good compared to the competition. Again, in this independent evaluation, it's not that better in terms of other models, but again, it's cheaper to serve, it's cheaper for inference. And of course, it's a big jump in all honesty. This is the 3.370 billion and this is the Maverick. So they did a good enough jump and it's very close to GPT 4.0 with a new update, which was very important. And it's also very close to DeepSeek V3 with a new update. So this is hopeful. Really, I don't know what Anthropic is going to do with its cloud release. It's really lagging behind and it's so costly to use. So here we can see intelligence versus active parameters. So this is one of the most important things. On the x-axis, we can see the active parameters. Here we can see the Artificial Intelligence Index. So they have been pushing for a very small amount of active parameters. And also we can see here that intelligence get also higher. So this is a big improvement in all honesty. And compared to the competition, it has very small amount of active parameters, but it has very good performance. And this is enabled by the mixture of experts architecture. So these models are quite cheaper compared to these models over here. It's like 3 times, 4 times cheaper in all honesty. And this looks very good for Meta and also, as I've said, open source. Here we can see the costs for the providers. You can actually expect these costs maybe to go down if they offer quantized versions, or they may go up because right now everyone is trying to catch up customers on the hype and offer low values and low costs. But it's cheaper than DeepSeek V3, which is nice. It's not cheaper than GPT 4.0 mini, where I don't think anybody uses this. And also Gemini 2.0 Plus, Mistral 3, these are quite used and are still cheaper than Llama Scout and Maverick. We'll see about that in the future, but again, we get good performance for a lot lower costs. And here, I think it's all of the actual, comparison for each benchmark. It scores quite well. It's like always the 4th or 5th best model. And on humanities last exam, it does 4.8% score for non-reasoning models again. Maybe on reasoning, this is even better. We will see about that, but it's a good release in terms of independent evaluations. Now, what I wanted to show you is here about the 10 million context. This is purely virtual. This is purely virtual because most models have been trained with up to 200,000 tokens. So we're not yet at a stage where these models can be trained on prompts, or there are not enough data for these long context models. So I really don't know the performance of 10 million tokens because nobody has this kind of trained data right now to train these models. But hopefully in the future, we're going to see more models with very big contexts. We've seen QSAR Alpha, a stealth model in the previous videos that has 1 million context window. Google has 1 million, 2 millions right now. So hopefully more data will be created for these kind of context lengths, and we might see some emergent abilities from models just by training in these huge contexts. And hopefully some performance optimizations, because you can do a single pass of the model during training with huge context and train like in a single training loop with more data at the same compute costs. So that could be also amazing, and we might see models emerging that are being a lot better just by that. LM Arena, which is one of the most prominent comparison modules, and this is benchmarked through users. What we see here is that Maverick is scoring number 2, and it's the 4th organization to score over 14,000 or 1,400 score, ELO score. So only Grok 3, ChatGPT 4o, Llama Maverick, which is the medium model, and Gemini 2.5 have bet that average score. So this is interesting to see, and more votes are coming in. This is super early again, but this is very hopeful that AI continues to improve and also open source, and it becomes open source and more free. So this is very nice to see, in all honesty, and it excites me so much about the future of AI. So I want to move into the next field, which is, all of the benchmarks. Again, the Llama Scout model is also keeping up quite well, even though it's a lot smaller and a lot cheaper to serve. And they offered 3 models that are comparatively very good compared to the competition, and they're very cheap. I'm also really excited to see the final version of Behemoth because this shows so much promise in live code bench, in Math 500, in MLU Pro. It shows state-of-the-art performance in all of these, and it's still training, so I'm really excited to see the final result out of this. Now, because we don't have a lot of time, in the next video, I'm going to show you how to get access to all of these models completely for free and test them out. So I'm going to cut this video short, and I will wait you on the next video to show you all the providers, and maybe we can do a very quick small benchmark of this model. Nothing crazy, just a quick short one. Thanks so much for watching, and I will see you on the next video.